All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to crack open one of the most essential tools in any Python programmer's entire kit, the list. Now, I want you to think of it like a magical toolbox, one that can hold anything and everything. Seriously, it's the secret sauce behind how a ton of your favorite apps work day in and day out.
So you ever wonder how an app, say your shopping app, remembers every single thing you toss in your cart? Or how your music player keeps track of that perfect playlist you made? I mean, these things aren't set in stone, right? You're always adding stuff, taking stuff out. Well, the secret to juggling all that, it's a really simple but incredibly powerful data structure.
And yep, you guessed it, that structure is the Python list. Let's just quickly break down what that formal definition really means. Ordered sequence? That just means stuff stays exactly where you put it. The order matters. Mutable? Now that is the key word here. It's just a fancy way of saying you can change the list whenever you want. And maybe the best part? It can hold pretty much anything you throw at it, all wrapped up in those classic square brackets.
Okay, so if a list is our magical toolbox, what kind of tools can we actually stick inside? Well, this is where the real magic happens. See, unlike a regular toolbox that might only hold, screwdrivers, a Python list is just unbelievably flexible.
And really, this flexibility is its superpower. You can have a straightforward list of numbers, sure, or a list of text, like all the vowels. But here's where it gets wild. You can mix and match. An integer, a decimal number, a piece of text, they can all hang out together in the same list, no problem. And you can even put entire lists inside other lists. We call that a nested list, and it's perfect for when you've got really complex stuff to organize.
All right, so our toolbox is packed. Now what? How do we grab that one specific tool we need? Well, every single item in a list has its own special spot, its own little slot number. We call that an index. And Python, being awesome, gives us a couple of really clever ways to use these indexes.
Now, this next part, this is the first thing every single Python programmer has to wrap their head around. And trust me, sometimes it's the hard way. In Python, we start counting from 0. That's right, 0. So the very first item in your list, it's at index 0. The second one is at index 1, and you get the picture. So if we want the first thing from that list of even numbers, we ask for what's at index 0, and bam, we get the number 2.
But okay, what if you need the last item, and you have no idea how long the list is? Are you supposed to count all the way to the end? No way. Python has this absolutely brilliant shortcut. You can use negative numbers to count backwards from the end. So index -1, that's always the last item. -2 is the second to last, and so on. It's just a super handy trick for getting to the end of your data without any fuss.
Okay, remember that word I mentioned a bit ago? Mutable? Well, we're back to it, because this is what makes lists so dynamic. They're not carved in stone. Think about it. You can add, remove, or just plain swap out the tools in your toolbox anytime you want. So let's see how you'd actually swap one item for another. This is a perfect example. Let's say we have a list of colors. We decide we want to change orange to black. So what do? First, we find its index. Let's see. Red is 0, green is 1, blue is 2, so orange is at index 3. Then we just tell Python, hey, the thing at index 3 is now black. And just like that, the original list itself gets updated. Orange is gone, black is in. It's that easy.
But it goes way beyond just changing one item at a time. Python gives us a whole workshop full of built-in operations just for lists. These are like the power tools that let you slice, dice, and manage your collections of data with total ease.
And one of the coolest power tools is called slicing. Instead of just grabbing one tool, slicing lets you grab a whole chunk of your list all at once. You just tell it where to start and where to end, and it hands you a brand new list with just that section. It's absolutely essential when you start working with real data.
Honestly, there are tons of these operations, but let's just focus on 4 essentials that you are going to use all the time. Want to add something new to the very end of your list? That's .append. Need to get rid of an item? Use .remove. Want to organize your list, say alphabetically or numerically? .sort does it right in place. And if you just need to know how many things are in your list, the len function is your best friend.
Okay, let's talk about our last topic. And please listen up because this is a super important one that trips up even experienced developers. What happens when you try to copy a list? You'd think it's simple, but it doesn't always work the way you'd expect. And knowing why is the key to avoiding some really confusing bugs down the road.
So here's the deal, and this is the crucial part. If you just say list2 equals list1, you're not making a new copy. You're not getting a new toolbox.
All you're doing is slapping a second name tag on the exact same toolbox. So what happens? You change something in list 1 and it changes in list 2 too, because they're both pointing to the same thing. If you want a real, separate, independent copy, a brand new toolbox, you have to specifically ask for it. And the easiest way is with that little slicing trick, square brackets colon. That creates a totally fresh copy, and now you can mess with one without affecting the other at all.
You know, before we wrap this up, there's a great quote from Bill Gates that I think fits perfectly here. Measuring programming progress by lines of code is like measuring aircraft building progress by weight. And that's so true, right? It's not about writing more code, it's about writing smarter code. And using powerful, elegant tools like lists is exactly how we do that. It lets us get complex things done in a clean, efficient, and easy-to-read way.
So, there you have it. The magical toolbox is officially open. You now know how to fill it up, how to find exactly the tool you need, how to swap things out, and even the right way to make a perfect copy. From building a simple to-do list to laying the groundwork for a huge application, this tool is ready for you. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?